Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to day 2 of our 366 practices. And today's yoga flow is going to be all about body awareness. So for this one, I invite you to close your eyes at any time during this practice. By shutting off one of our senses, it helps heighten the rest of our senses, like how we feel, even what we're smelling. So maybe like a scented candle or something, that might be quite nice to heighten your experience. But for now, we're going to start seated. You don't have to be cross-legged. You can sit however you like. Throughout this entire practice, I invite you to adapt any of the postures or movements to suit you. So what I'm going to be doing is going to probably look quite a lot different to what you're doing, but we're going to be working into the same areas, but not necessarily looking the same, if that makes sense. We'll get to it. Let's start at seated. Relax your hands wherever feels most natural. Close the eyes. And then really start to feel the weight in your sitting bones. So notice if you're kind of more on your left sitting bone, more on your right. If you sit more on the front of the sitting bone or more to the back. And see if we can shift the weight just a little bit further back. And notice how that begins to maybe stack the head a little bit more over the spine so it becomes almost like lighter to sit. Take a nice big breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, let it out. Allowing yourself to find this comfortable seat where there's a little bit of effort, but a lot of ease, particularly through the shoulders. And just becoming aware of your physical body, how it feels in space, like the temperature in the room, how your clothes feel against your skin. And then going past surface level, so is the body feeling tired in any areas? Maybe it's feeling quite energetic in some areas. And then noticing if your mind is easily distracted, maybe there's sounds going on around you. And that's okay. See if you can rest your attention onto your breath now though. Breathing in and out of the nose. Notice how that feels. So as you inhale, feeling the nostrils maybe a little bit cooler. And as you exhale through the nose, notice how the air leaves just that little bit warmer. Blinking the eyes open if you wish. As you inhale, reach the hands up and overhead. See if you can really lift up out of your waist, like you're trying to reach for something on the ceiling. But just notice if the shoulders start to do this. See if you can find your sense of ease. So we're lifting, but our shoulders are nice and relaxed. Perfect. Good. From here, bringing one hand down to the side. Take a nice big stretch through your side body. So notice if you start to kind of lift up and over. See if you can keep both sit bones grounded. Big breath in. And as you exhale, bringing this top hand down. So maybe you kind of touch your knee. For some of us, it might feel good to kind of creep the fingertips further away. And then take a nice big breath in. Notice where the breath shows up in your body. How does that feel? And if it doesn't feel really nice, do something else. You can walk your hands back towards you more. You can walk them further away, maybe more to the back, more to the front. Move in a way that feels good for you, for your body. Wonderful. Let's try on the opposite side. So as you inhale, reach the hands up and over. Bringing the opposite hand down. Find that little side stretch first, almost like you're breathing down into the waist, even into that armpit. Big breath. And as you exhale, bringing this top hand down. Now maybe this wants to land in a completely different area. That's cool. Maybe there's a little bit of an exploration of creeping the hands further away, more to the front, more to the back. But really notice where the breath is kind of pushed into and how that feels. Wonderful. Inhale, reaching the hands up and overhead. And as you exhale, bringing the hands down in front and finding an all fours position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath hips, soft elbows. Lovely. From here, we're just going to move like free flow. So maybe it's a swing of the hips that feels good for you today. You can stick with this if this is feeling like, oh yeah, really nice. Or maybe we kind of shift the weight forwards and back. Maybe that's more your vibe today. Maybe it doesn't look like anything like that at all, and it's just kind of random snaky movements. Trying to find like a little corner of movement that you haven't moved into. Closing the eyes, just really kind of getting out of your head and into your body. So letting go of what it looks like. Wonderful, good. Then coming back to a neutral place, spread the fingers nice and wide, tucking the toes. You're going to send the sit bones up into your first downward facing dog. Nice. So have a little check-in with how this dog feels today. Maybe you want a little pedal through the feet. Maybe a little wind out of the head. You can close the eyes if you wish. Good, and then come back to a neutral place. So even weight on each foot, even weight in the hands. Inhale, reaching the right leg back and up in space. And just see how that feels to distribute the weight over 3 areas of the body. So the 2 hands and the back foot. Good, big breath in. And as you exhale, step this right foot on through in between the hands. Good, drop the back knee, untuck the toe, and then bringing the hands up onto that thigh. Relax the shoulders. Check in with that left hip flexor. How's it doing today? If it's too much being quite low, you can come up a little bit if you're still getting a stretch here. It's a good place. Maybe we just kind of take a little rock, like up and down almost, just kind of teasing into it. Almost like you're surfing the edge. Good, take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, hands to mat, and then we're going to straighten up that front leg into a half split here. So spread the toes wide, keep the leg straight. So we want to be feeling it in the front, in the back of this straight leg. If you want more, fold over the leg. If that's like, whew, too much, stay up here. You can even be on blocks. You can grab some blocks, bring yourself a bit higher. Good, big breath. Exhale, plant the foot, plant the hand. You're going to step it back to a downward facing dog. Have a little reassess, maybe like a little swing in the hips. And then come back to even standing on the feet. So notice how your right leg maybe feels a little bit more open than the left. Good. As you inhale, float your left leg back and up. Notice how that feels. If you're wobbly on this side, maybe not. Notice how your left glute engages. Big breath. Exhale, step that left foot on through in between the hands. Drop the back knee, untuck the toe. Hands up onto the thighs, and then just take a moment to assess. It's almost like a little pulse action almost. So maybe you're feeling quite open on this side and you can get nice and low. Or maybe it's nicer just to be a bit more upright. Don't be afraid of like moving around in poses. It's totally allowed. Good, big breath in. And as you exhale, hands to the mat, and then finding that half split. So straightening up that front leg. Hands can come up onto something if you need. Otherwise, lift the toes and see if you can fold over that front leg, really getting all the way down the back of the left leg. Upper body is nice and relaxed, no kind of tension being held in this upper body. Good, nice big breath in. As you exhale, plant the foot, plant the hands, step it back to a downward facing dog. Good. And then notice how your legs feel now. So take a little rock from side to side. Maybe the heels can creep just a little bit closer to the mat, maybe. Good. And then from here, begin to tiptoe your feet towards the hands. You can take quite a few steps to get there. Straight legs or bent, totally up to you. Take your feet about hip width apart, grab opposite elbows, and then just allow the upper body to hang. So softness in the knees, there's no need to lock out the knees. It's a much more enjoyable experience for your lower back if the knees are bent. Maybe shifting the weight forwards and back and side to side. Good, and then bringing the fingertips down to the mat. Bend the knees to get your fingertips down. Heel toe your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Coming down into your yogi squat, so dropping the sit bones down to the heels, coming into yogi squat. Hands can stay on the floor. They can come to heart center. And you want a nice proud chest, so we want to avoid kind of crumpling up. We want to be nice and proud, or as proud as we can be in our yogi squat. Don't worry if your heels are lifted. Keep pressing through and you'll get a stretch through the calves. Wonderful. Good. From here, bringing the hands down, you're going to send your right leg back. So send it all the way back, drop the back knee, untuck the toe. So our hands are on the inside of our left foot. We're in this kind of lizard pose. You can come up onto your fingertips, or maybe for some of us, we can get flat on the hands. Maybe some of us can come down to the forearms. But just be mindful of where you're at. You might find you just want to take a soft bend in the elbows. Maybe there's a little rock from side to side. You kind of feel into a bit more space. For some of us, coming down onto our forearms actually takes away some intensity. So just be mindful that you're not kind of just dumping into a place. You want to actually, find something that works. Good. From here, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee. We're going to walk our hands to the back foot, come onto the heel of the front foot, coming into a yogi squat. Oh, a ninja squat even. So from here, for some of us, this is quite enough to find that inner groin kind of area. Maybe some of us need to take a little bit of a walk forward with the hands. Maybe we need to come more this way. Just have a little bit of an exploration of what feels good on that inner thigh groin area. I often find that I kind of have to be at here, a 45-degree angle. Shouldn't feel painful. It may be uncomfortable because it's an unusual stretch, but it should never feel painful. Good. And then from here, walking the hands back to the inside of your front foot. Good. And then from here, bending into that the back leg, you're going to land your right foot back into your yogi squat. Nice. And then just notice how that feels on your yogi squat. So maybe there's a little bit more wriggle room or space. Good. Let's do the opposite side. So hands come down, left leg pops back, drop the back knee, untuck the toe, and then just take a moment to kind of feel out into those hips. Again, if you want to come to forearms, 1 or 2. Maybe you want to prop yourself up on some blocks. Maybe we're up here. Maybe our hands are even on blocks. And then see if you can find that little kind of space where you're like, oh, yeah, I need to stretch there. And breathe there. From here, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee. We're going to come into ninja squat on the back foot. So walking the back foot back, I'm going to be back to you now. The front toes are now lifted and we're on that heel. And we can have a little bit of an exploration here. So maybe it's a little kind of rock forward and back, finding it in that inner thigh of the straight leg. You might want to fold. You might be doing something completely different to what I'm suggesting, and that is fine. But see if you can like really stay with physical sensation. It's always nice to like come back to physical sensation. It really kind of brings us back to the present. So if you've had a bit of an explore, slowly walking the hands back to the inside of the front foot, little spring in the back foot, finding your yogi squat once more. So feet nice and wide, coming in to your yogi squat. Nice, proud and open chest. Shoulders are relaxed. Wonderful. From here, reaching the hands high overhead. Slowly, slowly we're going to come down. Drop the sit bones down. Fingers and toes off the mat into our Savasana or boat pose. So nice proud chest. Hands can be on the back of the thighs. They can be out in line with the legs, wherever you want to be. And then see if you can distribute the weight evenly on your sitting bones so you're really nice and tall through the length of your spine. Good, big breath. As you exhale, dropping the feet down and then taking your knees out wide. So soles of the feet together. Let the knees kind of butterfly outwards. Interlace your fingers around your toes and then sit up nice and tall. You can even like walk your sit bones closer to your heels if hips allow. Big breath. And as you exhale, forward fold in. Relax the back of the neck. Think about your thigh bones spiraling outwards rather than the knees just dropping straight down. You want to think about a kind of spiraling, opening motion of the hips. Closing the eyes. And with each exhale, finding a sense of ease. Good, as you inhale, slowly, slowly coming all the way back up. Closing up the knees like a book. Feet flat on the mat, hands to the shins, and then you're going to slowly, slowly roll all the way down onto the back. You can take your legs out nice and long. You can have soles of the feet on the mat, whatever you prefer for your back. Resting one hand onto your chest and one hand onto the belly. Close the eyes. Take a nice big breath in. And let it go through the mouth. Noticing how the breath feels in your hands. The temperature of your skin. Your heart beating in your chest. And really taking note of how the body feels now after some movement. Maybe there's a tingling or a buzzing. Whatever that may be. See if you can listen to it. Taking one more big breath in. Huge sigh out. And then begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes, letting the head drop from side to side. Notice how that kind of massages the back of the head. And then hugging the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then coming up to find a comfortable seated position. So you can rock to one side or rocking up, come in to find your comfortable seat, bringing the hands together at heart center. Bow the head to the heart and really thank yourself for carving out this time in your day to reconnect with your body. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a little thumbs up, and I will see you on tomorrow's practice. Bye guys.